Let me be straight with you. Not every woman you meet deserves your time, your energy, or your efforts. And if you don't learn to spot the red flags, you'll end up stuck with the wrong person. The kind of woman who drains your vitality, disrespects you, and slowly erodes your self-confidence without you even realizing it right away. Here's a truth that far too many men refuse to accept. Some women reveal their true nature very early on, but too many guys choose to ignore those warnings because of physical attraction, loneliness, or the fear of being alone. That's exactly where the biggest mistakes happen. This video isn't about bashing women in general. Its goal is to protect you, because the harsh reality is that if you don't walk away the moment certain words are said or certain behaviors appear, you'll pay the price later. That price can come in the form of years wasted, deep emotional wounds, or a complete loss of your self-esteem. And once that damage is done, rebuilding yourself is a long and painful road. Men today too often hear the wrong advice. Be patient, give her time, she'll change. But reality works differently. When a woman shows you a major red flag, she's telling you exactly who she is. Either you believe her and walk away, or you gamble with your inner peace. And peace of mind is not something you should ever risk. That's why, in this video, I'm going to break down in detail the specific things a woman might say or do that should make you stop immediately, step back, and leave without any hesitation. We're not talking about little quirks or harmless imperfections. We're talking about clear deal breakers that tell you everything you need to know about her character, her values, and how she will treat you in the long run. Welcome to the Relationship Psychology channel. If you're here, it's because you want clarity and straightforward discussions about dating and relationships from a masculine perspective. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear today could save you from making one of the biggest mistakes of your life. Disrespect kills any relationship. Respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Without it, nothing else matters. A woman can tell you she loves you, that she cares about you, and she can even be affectionate at times. But if she doesn't respect you, all of that is meaningless. And here's what most men overlook. Disrespect usually shows up early, long before things get serious. The problem is that too many guys downplay it, excuse it, or convince themselves it's not a big deal. That's the first mistake. Think about this. If she rolls her eyes every time you speak, constantly interrupts you, or mocks the things you're passionate about, that's not her being playful. That's her showing you exactly how she views you. And if you tolerate it at the beginning, you're teaching her that it's okay to treat you that way. Once you give her that green light, she'll never truly respect you afterward. Respect isn't something you can regain once it's gone. If she sees you as someone she can walk all over, she won't suddenly wake up one day admiring your strength. That switch doesn't flip. Men often think, if I prove myself, if I show her how much I care, she'll start respecting me. But that's not how it works. Respect has to be there from the start. Picture this. You're out with a woman and you're opening up about something important to you, maybe your career, your goals, or something personal. While you're talking, she pulls out her phone and starts scrolling through social media. She laughs at random posts while you're being vulnerable with her. That moment tells you everything. She's not listening. She's not engaged. And she certainly doesn't respect your time or your words. Most men brush this off, thinking she's just distracted or it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. It's an early sign of a woman who doesn't value you, and if you ignore it, you're setting yourself up for a future where you'll always come second in her mind. Here's the hard truth. When a woman truly respects you, you feel it. She listens when you speak, she values your opinion, and she doesn't belittle you in front of others. And when she doesn't respect you, you feel that too, in her tone, her attitude, and the subtle ways she dismisses you. The woman who competes instead of supports. One of the simplest ways to know if a woman is right for you is to watch how she reacts to your wins. Pay close attention to this, because it matters more than how she treats you when you're struggling. A woman who's truly with you will celebrate your victories, big or small. She'll stand by your side, proud of your progress, proud of your ambition, and proud to be part of your journey. But a woman who competes with you is a completely different story. Here's what competition in a relationship looks like. You share good news with her. Maybe you got a promotion, closed a deal, or hit a personal milestone. Instead of genuine enthusiasm, she downplays it, compares it to something she's done, or immediately shifts the focus onto herself. It's not about your growth. It's about making sure she doesn't feel like she's falling behind. This isn't a partnership. It's a rivalry. And let me be clear. There is no peace in a relationship where your partner secretly sees you as competition. You'll always feel tension, You'll always feel like you have to shrink yourself to make her comfortable. And eventually, you'll start hesitating to share your wins at all. That's not love, that's sabotage. Here's why this is so critical. As a man, your life is about progress. You should be striving to grow mentally, financially, emotionally, and physically. But if you're tied to a woman who can't handle your growth, she'll either pull you down or make you feel guilty for moving forward. That kind of dynamic is poison. Instead of focusing on becoming your best self, you'll waste energy managing her insecurities. A supportive woman isn't threatened by your ambition. She's inspired by it. She encourages you to push harder. She celebrates when you succeed, and she reminds you of your worth when you doubt yourself. That's what healthy love looks like. Two people pushing each other upward, not dragging each other down. When she trashes all her exes, pay very close attention to how a woman talks about the men who came before you. It tells you far more than you think. If every story she tells paints her as the victim and every ex as the villain, that's not just gossip. It's a red flag about how she handles accountability, maturity, and conflict. Let's break it down. Everyone has a past, and no one expects perfection. But when a woman constantly says, all my exes were toxic, or every guy I've been with was controlling, abusive, or crazy, you need to pause and ask yourself one question. What's the common denominator? If she's always the innocent one, and every man was the problem, chances are she's never once looked in the mirror. That lack of self-awareness will carry over into her relationship with you. Here's the hidden danger most men miss. The way she talks about her exes today is exactly how she'll talk about you tomorrow if things don't work out. If she couldn't respect the men she once claimed to love, why would you expect her to respect you in the end? Words matter. When she spews venom about every man who came before you, what she's really showing you is how she handles disappointment and breakups. And if her only tool is blame, you're not signing up for love. You're signing up for drama. Men often fall into the trap of feeling special in this situation. They think, she must see something different in me. I'll prove I'm not like the others. That's a dangerous mindset. Because if she hasn't healed, hasn't learned, and hasn't taken responsibility for her own role in past relationships, you're not saving her. You're just volunteering to be the next story she tells about how all men are awful. A mature woman doesn't need to drag her exes through the mud to explain her past. She can admit where things went wrong, acknowledge what she learned, and move forward with respect. That shows emotional growth. And emotional growth is what makes relationships last. So when a woman spends more time tearing down the men from her past than building something healthy with you, take it as a warning. She's not ready for a real relationship. She's still stuck in old wounds, still playing the blame game, and still lacking the self-awareness needed to grow. And that's not something you can fix for her. When sex becomes a weapon, intimacy and sex are an important part of any romantic relationship. It's not just about physical pleasure. It's about connection, closeness, and bonding. But when a woman starts using sex as a tool to control, manipulate, or punish you, that's a sign you need to step back immediately. Why? Because sex should never be a bargaining chip. Here's how it usually shows up. She withholds intimacy whenever she's upset, even over minor issues, just to get what she wants. Or she only becomes affectionate when she needs something from you, money, favors, or attention. At that point, it's not about closeness, it's about leverage. And the dangerous part is that if you tolerate it once, it quickly becomes the pattern for the entire relationship. Think about it. If she realizes that withholding intimacy gets her what she wants, why would she stop? She'll train you to jump through hoops for her approval. That's not love, that's control. And it doesn't stop at sex. If she can control your physical needs, she'll move on to controlling other areas of your life, your time, your decisions, your freedom. The problem is that many men overlook this behavior because they confuse it with normal relationship ups and downs. They think maybe she's just not in the mood or it's a phase. But there's a clear difference between someone who naturally doesn't want intimacy sometimes and someone who deliberately withholds it to manipulate you. One comes from honesty, the other from strategy. Here's something you need to remember. Intimacy in a healthy relationship should be mutual, natural, and freely given. It should never feel like a reward you have to earn or a punishment you have to endure. If she turns it into a power play, you're not in a loving partnership. You're in a silent battle where she always has the upper hand. And let's be honest, over time, that dynamic kills attraction. You start feeling resentful, frustrated, and emotionally disconnected. What used to be about passion turns into tension. And eventually, instead of looking forward to intimacy, you associate it with conflict and control. That's not a future you want to build. A strong, self-respecting man recognizes this pattern for what it is and refuses to play the game. Because the moment you let sex become a weapon in your relationship, you've already lost the balance of power. And once that balance is gone, respect, trust, and genuine connection disappear with it. So here's the bottom line. If she uses sex as a weapon, walk away fast. Don't negotiate, don't tolerate it, and don't convince yourself it will change, because it won't. Intimacy should be a choice, not a tool. And any woman who can't understand that isn't someone you should build a future with. The woman who prefers chaos over peace. Some women thrive in peace, stability, and healthy connection. Others thrive in chaos, drama, and emotional roller coasters. The difference between the two is night and day. And if you ignore it, you'll end up trapped in a cycle that drains your energy and your mental health. A woman who loves chaos more than peace will never let you build a calm, healthy life with her. Deep down, she doesn't know how to function without drama. You'll notice it first in small ways. One day she's affectionate and warm, the next she's distant and cold for no reason. One moment she's praising you, the next she's picking a fight over nothing. And here's the key. These mood swings don't come from real external problems or stress. They come from her need to stir things up. She craves the intensity of conflict because peace feels boring to her. Imagine this. You're having a great day, work went well, you're in a good mood, and you're excited to spend time with her. But instead of enjoying the moment, she starts an argument out of nowhere. Maybe about something you said last week, maybe about a text she didn't like, or maybe about absolutely nothing. The issue isn't the point, it's the chaos. For her, that emotional high feels exciting and she feeds off it. For you, it becomes exhausting. Here's the problem. If you stay in a relationship with a woman like this, you'll be conditioned to believe that love always comes with chaos. You'll start lowering your standards, telling yourself that all relationships are this unstable. But that's not true. A healthy relationship is stable, calm, and supportive. Yes, disagreements happen, but they're resolved through communication, not constant explosions. A woman who feeds on chaos isn't looking to grow with you. She's looking for entertainment. And you'll never win that game, because the moment things calm down, she'll find another way to shake them up, whether by picking fights, creating jealousy, or manufacturing problems. She'll always find a way to disrupt your peace. Men often mistake this kind of instability for passion. They think, she must really care if she's this emotional. But passion without stability is just destruction. If you're constantly walking on eggshells, constantly unsure where you stand, constantly bracing for the next outburst, that's not passion, that's dysfunction. The truth is simple. If she loves chaos more than peace, she's not ready for a relationship. And if you try to force stability into her world, you'll end up sacrificing your own. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you can calm her storm. If she thrives in drama, you'll drown in it. So the moment you see this pattern, walk away. Protect your peace, because without it, you can't build anything meaningful. When everything feels like a transaction, one of the clearest signs you need to walk away from a woman is when the relationship stops feeling like a connection and starts feeling like a business deal. When every moment, every gesture, every bit of affection comes with conditions, you're not in love. You're in a transaction, and no man should settle for that. Here's how it shows up. You do something nice for her, and instead of appreciating it, she treats it like credit toward the next favor she'll demand. Or she only shows interest in you when you're spending money, giving gifts, or providing resources. When love is genuine, it flows freely. When it's transactional, you always feel like you're paying hidden fees just to be with her. The danger here is subtle but powerful. Over time, you'll start believing that your value in the relationship is tied only to what you can provide. You'll feel pressure to keep giving, proving, and buying her affection. And the more you play that game, the more she'll train you to see love as a reward for payment. That's not intimacy, that's manipulation. A healthy woman doesn't measure your worth by your wallet, what you can do for her, or how much effort you put in compared to what she gives back. She values your presence, your character, your consistency. She gives as much as she takes, and she sees the relationship as a partnership, not an exchange. That balance is what makes the bond strong. Too many men ignore this sign because they confuse transactional love with high standards. They think, she just wants me to step up, she wants me to prove myself. But there's a difference between being a provider and being exploited. A good woman appreciates provision, but she doesn't demand it as the price of her love. Ask yourself this: if you stopped giving, would the affection stop too? If the answer is yes, then you don't have a partner. You have a negotiator. And that's not someone you want to build a life with. Here's the harsh truth. If she treats love like a business, she'll always be looking for the next better deal. The moment she finds someone who can offer more, she'll leave. Because for her, it's not about connection, it's about profit. So don't ignore that feeling when everything starts feeling like a transaction. Don't get trapped in a cycle where you're constantly paying for affection that should come freely. Love isn't supposed to be bought, negotiated, or bartered. If it feels like a deal, it isn't real. Walk away. Your time and energy are worth far more than that. If she can't value you, stop trying to convince her. One of the most painful mistakes men make in relationships is trying to prove their worth to a woman who doesn't see it. You bend over backward, you invest time, energy, and effort, thinking that if you just do enough, she'll one day wake up and appreciate you. But here's the truth. If she doesn't value you from the start, she never truly will. A woman who values you doesn't need convincing. She sees your worth, not just in what you provide, but in who you are as a man. She respects your time, appreciates your efforts, and recognizes what you bring to her life. On the other hand, a woman who can't value you will always act like you're not enough. And the more you try to prove yourself, the more she'll take advantage. Here's the issue. Many men confuse persistence with strength. They think, if I just show her how much I care, she'll change. But persistence in the wrong situation isn't strength. It's self-sabotage. You're teaching her that she can give you the bare minimum while you give her everything. And once that dynamic is set, it's almost impossible to reverse. The truth is that women don't suddenly start valuing a man they've already dismissed. If she sees you as disposable, replaceable, or just an option, no amount of effort will change that. In fact, the harder you try to prove yourself, the less she'll respect you. Why? Because people don't value what they don't have to earn. That's where men need to wake up. If she doesn't value you, it's not a sign to try harder. It's a sign to leave. Stop begging for appreciation. Stop lowering your standards to match hers. Stop pouring energy into someone who's already shown you they don't see your worth. And here's the constructive part you need to hear. Sometimes the problem isn't just her, it's you. If you keep ending up with women who don't value you, ask yourself why you keep choosing them. Are you ignoring red flags, settling out of loneliness, convincing yourself that a little attention is better than none? These are tough questions, but answering them will keep you from repeating the same mistake over and over. A strong man doesn't plead for his value. He lives it, he knows what he brings, and he won't sit where he isn't respected. The right woman won't need convincing. She'll see your value clearly and treat you accordingly. That's the kind of relationship worth building. Conclusion: choosing to walk away is an act of strength. Relationships aren't complicated once you understand this truth. A woman shows you exactly who she is through her words and actions. The problem isn't that men can't see it, it's that too many men choose to ignore it, and ignoring red flags is the fastest way to lose yourself in the wrong relationship. If she disrespects you, competes with you, trashes all her exes, uses intimacy as a weapon, thrives in chaos, treats everything like a transaction, or simply can't value you, these aren't quirks, they're deal breakers. They're signs that no matter how much effort you put in, you'll never get the respect, peace, or love you deserve. Here's the controversial truth. A man who refuses to walk away from the wrong woman is choosing his own suffering. You don't fix her patterns, and you don't convince a woman to suddenly see your value. You protect your dignity by recognizing when it's time to leave. So ask yourself, are you holding on to someone who's already shown you she doesn't deserve you? Or are you ready to respect yourself enough to walk away? I want to hear from you. What red flags have you ignored in the past, and how did it turn out? Share your stories in the comments, and I'll engage with you there. Remember this: walking away from the wrong woman isn't a loss, it's making room for the right one. Ajoutez au chat.